All right, so welcome everyone. We are here today to hear right now the top of the hour from Ms. Edith Estrada-Contreras, who will be providing her senior exit presentation, reflecting her 4 years. After her presentation, when she opens up the floor to any questions, we're gonna prioritize staff in the room first, then we'll extend it to anyone who wants to ask something, contribute something, comment, anything like that. And without further ado, take it away, Edith.
Hello. Again, I'm Edith. I'm a senior here at UTSA. I'm a civil engineering major, and this has been my past 4 years. So, a little bit of an agenda. We'll talk about
Bye.
school, kind of where my goals were, and then we'll go through each freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. So, how did I get here? Initially, for the first 14, 15 years of my life, my number one goal and only goal was to be a professional soccer player. It's kind of impressive that in those 14, 15 years, no one told me that was maybe not the best idea. But in high school, I joined this magnet school. It was plumbing and welding based. And this is me right here with my sink in my hand. And actually, I really enjoyed it. And I talked to my AP bio professor and I told him, like, hey, like, so excited for this course, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay, what do you want to do afterwards? And I said, oh, I want to be a plumber. He looked me dead in the eye and said, are you kidding? And I said, yeah. And he said, my brother is a plumber. He hates his wife. And I was like, oh, well, like this, it'll be different. Like I have a lot of fun, I'll be welding too. And eventually he convinced me to look into other avenues. And that course made me fall in love with the environment and kind of helping save it, helping it not go to the garbage. And I said, what can I do? I had recently joined an engineering internship with Zachary, and it was a civil engineering internship. And I realized, okay, engineering is not too bad. Let me try that. And the word environmental engineering came up on like Indeed. And I said, well, that sounds like the right thing to do. So that was what I came into UTSA wanting to do. I had 3 goals. My number 1 was to be happy at work. My number 2 was to save the planet in some type of way. And number 3 was to just become the best at it. So my freshman year, she thought she was gonna be. Let's see, leadership and service. So early that freshman year, I joined ASCE, American Society of Civil Engineers. And this was very monumental for me because I met a lot of upperclassmen that showed me what classes to take at what time and when to take other classes, what professors to take. You all know the vibe. Your advisor tries their best, but they don't know exactly what to tell you. So this catapult up here on the left side is a picture of us at 4 or 5 a.m. I mean, it was the day before the competition and we had to be there at 7 a.m. So we took this quick picture. We said, okay, bye. We came back 2 hours later and we competed. And the competition didn't go too well because we missed the safety feature. And so they didn't let us launch. But nonetheless, I've made a lot of friendships that have held on to this day. And then I was introduced to Clifton Strengths, this course called Ethics, Engineering Programs and Community Service. And my 4 top were restorative, includer, harmony, and futuristic. And this course is all about, hey, I know you have strengths and weaknesses, you want to strengthen your weaknesses, but if you have these natural strengths, why don't you prioritize them? And so I said, okay, well, let me try that. And so it really formed the way that my leadership role was in the rest of my orgs because I focused on being an includer, being a harmonistic and futuristic. And then in the spring of my freshman semester, I became an officer for 2 orgs. It was Plant the Future. We founded this organization, and this was actually Earth Day. This is exactly 4 years ago. So I organized this event. It was my favorite one. I got a bunch of sunflower seeds in little pots, and we had snacks on the table, and people could come and they could plant a little sunflower and they followed our Instagram, and they got little snacks and they left. And it made me really happy. I said, wow, this is not really engineering, civil engineering, but it's what I want to do. And it's helping me work towards one of those 3 goals that I had my freshman year. And I also became the vice president of Engineers Without Borders. Engineers Without Borders is an organization that helps third world communities gain infrastructure. So running water, hospitals, electricity. Like Caro, I don't know how equipped I was to be a vice president of an org like this. But I was. So, and also I was vice president, but I insisted that my plumbing skills were enough to create this program. So I was like, no, I'm vice president, but I'm gonna be project manager as well. And I had another project manager, but it was basically, it was, so we'll hear a lot about that throughout this presentation. So one of these, my favorite quotes ever at the time, was by John F. Kennedy. He said, anyone who can solve the problems of water will be worthy of 2 Nobel Prizes, one for peace and one for science. So this is really fueling me. The project for Engineers Without Borders was bringing clean running water to a community called La Esperanza. So for the rest of my days here at UTSA up until senior year, any living moment in my free time was focused on how do I get this community running water. So professional development, in my freshman year, I bought my first real estate property with my 2 sisters. It was just a piece of land, you know, nothing crazy. Well, a little crazy. There was a house on it and it burned down because people were doing illegal things there. But it was really cool. This is me with the chainsaw. I was, you know, just tearing down the trees. We were tearing down some of the trees that just weren't good for the property, making it a lot more attractive to future clients. And it was a family effort. It was my dad, my mom, my sisters, and I just, you know, we were there for 2 days. The tractor, shovels, chainsaws, everything, clearing it out. And this would come on later in my life. It was something that we just held on to for a few years. We didn't pay much attention to it after this weekend. And then NAVO. I spoke for NAVO. NAVO is National Association of Women's Business Owners. And in high school, I wrote a business plan for them and I got 3rd place in this competition, and they give you a little scholarship, and it funded my laptop that I have right now. Thank you. But yeah, it was really cool because I got to see these people present when I was a freshman in high school, like freshman, sophomore, junior high school. And now I'm here and I'm telling them, oh, like, you should really do this. And I really believe in this program, and to be invited back to speak for it was a very full circle. Intramurals. I'm gonna highlight intramurals probably twice in this presentation because it's been a big part of my life. I was part of the OG Top Ballers team. I would like to brag that this is our best season. We're 2nd place in the entire tourney. Granted, that was because 2 people got DQ'd before, so we never actually got to but we still made it to the end. And on the left side was Diploma Dash. This was Diploma Dash. I got 1st place in my age bracket. I didn't know. I went back to my dorm and Emily Wen was like, oh my God, congratulations. For what? And she's like, well, you won. And he's like, well, what? And she's like, well, they called your name. So I ran back and she wasn't lying to me. They gave me a little medal. And this is a picture of Mufado, me, Madeline, and a 4th mystery top scholar that I don't actually know, but she was there. And this was actually, this is the day after Josh had asked me to be his girlfriend. And the fact that I got 1st place, you know, I took that as a good omen. So far, so good. So that summer, I went to Atkins to intern. And the reason why I really love Atkins is because when I was interviewing, I told the interviewer that my goal in life was to save the world, save the planet. And he told me, well, good for you. Like, this is a new program that we're doing. And it was how to decarbonate the company. So it was going to be a few 10, 15 people that were looking at the production of Atkins and seeing how to make it earth friendly. Well, this is perfect. Well, I got to the internship and he was saying, well, they're like delaying and the group isn't actually even set up yet, but you can work with this person. And this person was Barb. Barb has been so influential in my life. She is hilarious. I know that if I called her right now, she would drive over in her big truck and save me at any point in time. The thing about this internship was it was transportation, and so it wasn't really what I was looking for, but it was still really cool. There's beam setting, and I got, you know, it was a very close-knit office space. And one thing was, I was, you know, it was after my freshman year, I was in Austin, I moved to Austin for this. And I didn't know yet how to stand my ground. I wasn't yet very good at that. And so I was working from 6 a.m. to 6 or 7 p.m. It was a very heavy summer. And that taught me a lot. If I could go back, I don't think I would change it because all of those hours were spent building this relationship with Barb, which I really value to this day. But then after this, it was Costa Rica. And it was completely the opposite. It was, you know, driving to work, looking at these construction workers, making sure they were doing the right things, to just existing. And Costa Rica is where Caro and I got a lot closer, and I formed a relationship with Sophie, who was very influential later in my life. And on the top right is a picture of a soccer field. It was so surreal. We were playing with the locals, we were barefoot. And Costa Rica just changed my outlook on a lot of things and made me realize that maybe work wasn't the #1 thing that I should focus on in my career here. It should be developing moments like this where I can make more memories that matter so much to me. So, we're here. EWB plus other service. So EWB was pretty dead post-COVID. I think there was maybe 6 or 7 of us in the org, and that I think happened to a lot of orgs during COVID. But sophomore year was just about building it back. Here is a picture of the water tank at the beginning of sophomore year, and this was at the end of sophomore year. So a lot of progress that semester, that year. And I also helped with coordinating the engineering barbecue, which is such a feat. It is 40+ companies that get together and they compete in brisket, chicken, and ribs. And you wouldn't believe how serious they take this. It's crazy. So my role here was to take care of pumpkin painting. So, so stressful. It was a bunch of little kids, they were coming, we had these mini pumpkins and they would just paint them and leave them there. And they always look so bad, but it was really fun to watch them do their thing. And I didn't have to deal with the big company, that was just kind of in the background. So then in the middle there is Gardopia Gardens. Through the Costa Rica class, we got to do a lot of little service events that I really enjoyed, things that I wouldn't have done if I wasn't in the course. So that was one of the examples. I also did some senior lunch deliveries, Cibolo Creek cleanup, but most of my service every semester is focused on like working a full-time job with EWB. Okay, intramurals. This was my most successful semester, I'm not gonna lie. Josh and I, we were indoor and outdoor soccer champions, officially, and unofficially, we were the heart of basketball and volleyball. Some of you people were on that team. This team, it was a lot of fun. Top ballers, again, a lot of fun. So it was really good. I mean, it was very busy though, because it would be, okay, I have a basketball game, and then after I have volleyball practice, and then I got, it was always something to do. But intramurals was that thing where I had to do it, but it was a break from everything else. So this is also the time that I took outdoor pursuits. And this is where I learned how to appreciate and take care of outdoor spaces. I've never known the official rules of going to a national park or a state park and leaving no trace and making sure that you leave things better than when you got there. And also sharing the outdoors became a passion of mine. I realized how fun it is to be outside, but also be with other people. And maybe even other people that don't necessarily go outside all the time and don't know how easy it is to enjoy the outdoors. Maybe they think it's a little more rough than it is. So here, it's Sophie, Marie, and I. We had so much fun diving in this little pool through outdoor pursuits. And Dr. Engate's also, she ran this class and she is the best itinerary maker in the world. She's so good. If you know her, you know what I'm talking about. And I definitely learned itinerary skills from her. On the far right is my first time really rock climbing, and that's going to come again later. And so a big piece of the first 2 years of college was doing things that I wouldn't think would matter later on, but they really did. And, we'll see that later on. And also, this is the semester I learned how to speak Italian. Well, started learning how to speak Italian, and it would help me later on in my Urbina trip. So, junior year, fighting for my life. This is all my fault. Solidia summer 2022. Like I said, I was still a wuss. I didn't know how to speak up for myself. But I scratched that research itch. I knew that coming in, I wanted to do research just because everyone's like, research. And I finally did. I applied to Solidia. There were 300 applicants, and only 5 of us made it. So it was a cool thing. What they were doing is carbonating cement, and cement is one of the worst things for the environment. What they were doing is reducing carbon emissions from cement to negative numbers, to where when you make normal cement, you heat it up many times. And every time you heat it up, you create heat and you create fumes that go into the environment. Their cement was cured with water, so there was no heating. And then it was also injected with CO2. So it was even taking CO2 from the environment. All great. I also got to do this design project. This is a very crude design. I wish I had more of them, but they wanted a wet-dry cycle for bricks. So you would wet the bricks, dry the bricks, wet the bricks, dry the bricks, to see how they would do, if they would crack, if they would crumble, all of that. And there was a really rinky-dink system that they had in place, and they kind of told me like, hey, do whatever you want, order whatever parts you want, just make it better. And so I made it 4 levels, and this is literally what it looks like. I ended up making it happen with my plumbing skills, and it was really good. And I made a lot of really, really close connections. I would go to work and I would be really happy. We would be joking around all day. It's Tijani, that's Juan. It would just be so fun. And there was maybe 20 people in the company and we all knew each other. The CEO sat in the corner. It was a really great atmosphere. It's when I realized that small startups are kind of the way to go when you're wanting to learn as much as you can. So also this summer was triathlon training. The way this came about, Sophie, she is incredible. She's very fit, very, on it. And she's a runner. I'm not a runner, but she told me, hey, if Josh can do an Ironman and swim 2 miles and bike 120 miles and then do a marathon, like we can do a triathlon. And it took me like a month. Then I told her no, and a no. But then she signed up and I was like, no, I have to sign up. So what this meant is that I had to learn how to swim. I didn't know how to swim. I was doggy paddling all the way. And so this summer was all about going to the pool with her, going to the lake, trying to get across. This is us biking, and it was so fun. Something that I'm really glad she pushed me to do. And in the middle there is the tank that I had showed you guys previously. It still didn't have a top. Now it has a top. So throughout every summer, winter break, and semester, I was meeting with Dr. Joseph, who, bless his heart, he is so patient, such a patient man. He taught me everything that I know about water mechanics, because again, it's not just a plumbing job, it's definitely engineering work. So on the right-hand side is just me basically TAing for my, like the members of the group to teach them how to do it as I do it as well. So that was a lot of that summer. So here things come. I was not going to work during the semester. I had zero plans of doing that. And the way I figured that I was going to quit this job is by not quitting, but by placing impossible standards and saying, well, I'm not going to stay unless you guys do this, this, and this. No, I was like, they're not going to do that for me. Like, why would they do that for me? Well, I told my boss safe, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to go unless all these standards and manners, just, it wouldn't be worth it. And then I come back the next thing, he said, I got all of it for you. We really want you to stay. It's like, no. But I was like, great, I'll start next week. So through the semester, I was working. I would show up at 6 a.m. and I would leave at like 12. I would take a 7-minute nap and I would go to class, and then honestly, truly fall asleep in class. But yeah, I mean, I still learned a lot, to be honest. I mean, I learned how to make these figurines, so it was worth it. But yeah, this was it when I realized, okay, maybe this didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I can ask for more and I might actually get it. So comes in handy later on. So triathlon, it actually happened. What was great about this is that my family flew over to go see me. I didn't expect them to do that. I think I cried like 7 times. This is my dad, clinking the beer at the end of the run. And we also went to the Golden Gate Bridge because I was born a stone's throw away from the Golden Gate Bridge, a place called Oakland, California. And that house is actually the house where, not where I was born, but where they drove me to after I was born. So it was really nice going back to see my family in California. I hadn't been there in 5-10 years, so it was a beautiful time. And completing this triathlon, it was just so much grit and learning and being uncomfortable with what I was doing. My biggest feat wasn't even the triathlon. I think at one point when I was training, Josh, Sophie, and a bunch of friends and we went to a lake called Birdie Lake, and it's 1/2 mile long. And Josh was like, well, just swim across. I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, just go. So we had this little floaty that would like follow us behind, and if we got tired, we could grab onto it. But you guys know me. I was like, I'm not gonna grab onto it. I didn't mean to touch it. So I swim across and I made it. Except if this is the lake, I didn't go like this. I kind of like, so it's just the worst. I would like swim and I would look up and I wouldn't even know where I was. But eventually I got to the end and we took a little break. There was this like concrete mountain that we climbed, and we looked across the lake, and then we swam back. So that day I swam a mile, and even running miles hard. So to me, that's the point when I knew, okay, I can complete this triathlon. And then lo and behold, a few months later, I actually did. So there's social enrichment funding, which was the key. I was like, wow, I can use enrichment funding for anything. So yeah, and then EWB this semester, it was really big, my junior year. We organized the first casino fundraiser night, and we raised over $400, and it could have been even better, but we didn't realize how many people in the school are addicts to gambling. Like, it's a really good idea to plan people's addictions to raise money. That was really close. This picture here, it was a really good time, and actually they're having it this year too. So it makes me happy to know that something that we started 2 years ago. It's gonna keep raising money for these communities. Another thing is that I also organized the engineering barbecue again. My biggest favorite contribution was this trash can. They hauled it in, they hauled it out. I completed my task. It was really good. Something else that I did for Edith was organizing this welding, plastic welding event. And what I did was I got one of these tubs from my house, cut it, I put a bunch of slits in it with the saw, and people would weld that hole, and then we filled it up with water and see if they would leak. Almost all of them leaked. But I think every semester the people get better because they keep using the same bin, which is really good. And so the thing about this is that I joined UWB fully focused on, I'm just gonna do the math. I just want to be in the background. I don't want to run the org. It's not my interest. And this semester I kind of did the opposite. Oh, I still did all the math, right? But I really focused on, well, let's get members. Let's get people involved and happy to be here and feel welcome. And at the end of the semester, we asked people like, why are you here? Why did you stay? And all of them said, well, I just came and I felt like I was home. Like I felt like I had friends here, even if it was my first time. And that made me really happy because it went back to my includer strengths and the clipped in. So I was like, oh, I'm doing my job. And something else that was really big is that we combined our group with EPICS. And that course that I had freshman year, now it's going to be EPICS and EWB. So if you join EPICS, no matter what major you are, you can do EWB. And that got us a lot of different majors to be in on this project. We got biomeds, we got chemicals, we got mechanicals. So it's a larger group, more diverse group, you know, 5 heads is better than 2. So it was very successful this semester. And we also went to the conference in Reno. So I went to Lake Tahoe to the triathlon and then I flew back to go to the conference. And this was a key moment for me because I had already gotten this internship with Tetra Tech. So I wasn't continuing with Solidia because, fun fact, they went bankrupt. So then I got this thing with Tetra Tech because they're the #1 company in water engineering in the world. And at the time they had a lot of USAID projects, which is basically EWB but professional. And USA does same thing, water, electricity, infrastructure for countries abroad. So I told myself, okay, well, I'm gonna join Tetra Tech. And even if I don't do that work right now, I'll move into that field with them. And when I was at this conference, I look at this big billboard and it says Tetra Tech, like biggest sponsor of EWB. And I said, oh my gosh, like the 2 things that I care about most is this internship that I just got and this org that I just have been dedicating pouring my soul into for the past 4 years, like they're connected. So it was just a clicking piece. So another piece this semester was sharing the outdoors. This was big for me because I got this skill from Outdoor Pursuits. Dr. Engates helped us learn how to plan a trip, make it safe for everyone and make it fun for everyone. And I realized here that maybe my goal in life to save the planet wasn't necessarily going to be me innovating and being an environmental engineer. It was more spreading the love for the outdoors. And I think that one brain can't do everything. But if you spread the love and other people enjoy being outside, they're going to start taking care of it too, even if they don't realize it. So there's a park in the outdoors. I still took people to the gym. And this is Catherine. I cut it off, but on each side, this is 500 pounds. Yeah. And we also went camping to Government Canyon. Some of these people had never been camping before. And on this picture and that picture is the first time I took my family to a hiking trip. We climbed the highest mountain peak in Texas, you know, start small. And they really enjoyed it. My dad told me for about a year, I'm never gonna do that. That's so dumb. I've been hiking my whole life, chasing cows. Like, why would I do that? And you know what? That morning, he put on his boots, put on his hat, and he came with us. So I hope to do more trips like this in the future with my family because now that I know that they're down, I'm down too. So then transition to national parks. And this is a really transformative trip, I think, for everybody. We had the best community, the best group, best professors there. I don't think it could have been better if it was handpicked. And I completely disconnected. I let go of my phone. I didn't take it. I was writing postcards to people. I learned how to use stamps. And I really realigned my purpose in life. I realized that I didn't value some of the skills that I was learning more like paper pushing or reading things or, you know, just I liked hands-on skills that I could really transfer to anywhere. So this course, I mean, it was hiking every day, it was cooking your own meals every day, Zaina and I, gosh. We spent like 3-4 hours one day trying to plan every single meal of the entire trip. And you know what? We followed it. And we were eating really yummy throughout the whole time. So I'm really happy about it. And Dr. Gates and Elliot and Christy, she's not here, but Christy was there. They were just wonderful mentors, and we got to know them in a light that we wouldn't have if we were just in class. So if I could do this trip over, I would do it over 7 million times. Some of these relationships that I created, I still talk to every single person here, and we still hang out. So it's just wonderful. And it was the perfect time to be away from my family because I was about to go to Rufino, and I would have been really, really, really away. And I realized on this trip that it's gonna be fine. Like, you're okay if you don't go to see your mom every week. So then Tetra Tech comes and I'm here. So like I said, the purpose was to work with USAID. That didn't happen that summer. Obviously, I was interning. I was working with the city of San Antonio. I was doing pump design, pipe design, and pavement assessments. So an example is when you flush your toilet, where does that water go? I plan the route back. And I choose the size of the pipes, and I choose the pumps that are going to push all of that into the wastewater treatment plant. It's a really cool job. And I met a lot of cool people there. Gloria's down there. I adore that woman. And Sylvester, Sully, and Eduardo have been wonderful mentors to me. And that's my little desk. I get two monitors and my little laptop. So life is good in my little cubicle. I had a lot of fun this summer. And I was telling my family that this is where I want to be. This, I'm going to commit to this company and it's going to be this forever. And they're very cool with working remote. So there was this one, Sully, he went to Oman and he was working there for a month. He didn't put any vacation. He was just working there for a month. I was like, oh, I could go anywhere and just be an engineer anywhere. So yeah, I was really in love with Tetra Tech. And then senior year happened. And I felt like everything was going to fall into place. So EW summer, I was not going to leave my members with a unfinished project. So I really locked in last summer and I was meeting with Dr. Joseph weekly after work. And I finished up all of the plans. I turned them in, buzz repeater right before I went to Italy. And I said, here's everything, like, make it happen. And it happened. So people in Guatemala now have running water, or they're on the way, they're very close. We spent all the funds, we sent all the plans, and it'll be constructed this year. So then study abroad. So independence, homesickness, and travel. I think those are the 3 things. Oh, and design. I did senior design here, and normally that course takes, if you start in fall, you have about 9 months to do it, 9 to 10 months, including winter break, and you get 6 people. Here we had 3 months and 3 people. So it was definitely a challenge. Every day was, we would have fun, but then we'd come back and grind out on the computer, just trying to get it done. But it was so worth it. Before I went to Italy, I told people I know I'm gonna stress. I'm not gonna hate my life, but I'm gonna be stressed in Italy. And that makes it okay. So yeah, just some really good memories. Ali and Tej and Catherine, I just want to give a shout out to you guys because when I was feeling homesick and seeing you guys, it was just like the puzzle piece that I needed to be. It's okay, you're far from your family, but things are okay. And here in the middle is us 3, my 2 engineer girlies. We were the power of this design. Gosh, we would spend every single waking moment of the day together. So I'm really glad that they were very cool because it could have gone a really poor way. But no, we're best friends. We still talk to this day. And so then TSO Director Post Legacy, that's this semester. My goal this semester is to complete this logo for the future of merch. I don't think the merch is gonna happen this year, so sorry. But the logo design got very serious, and I think this is really good. So shout out to Anna and North for working on this. I'll be completing it sometime this week or next week. And I'm really excited for it to be on future merch all over Top Scholar things. And I did an RT fundraiser. That was cool. We raised some money for SAISD. And we did the Peace and Poppy fundraiser for kittens. I think that's the best project our cohort has ever done. 10 out of 10. It was so fun. Guys, great idea. Shout out to Kayla, she's here. She really put that together for us. And then real estate. So back when I bought this property freshman year, we sold it this December, and it was, not the craziest profit, but like I did everything wrong. But it inspired me to learn more about real estate. And I've read, I mean, all the books I can get my hands on. I listen to podcasts every single day. And I realized that back in freshman year, I didn't mention this, but I had bought a real estate license course. And I never finished it because it wasn't very interesting to me. It was hard to get through. It was very thick. And it was just so much. But I realized this semester that I want to do real estate, but in a different light. I don't want to be an agent. I want to be an investor. So what that means is I want to provide creative, like clean, affordable housing and sustainable housing to people who need it. And I think that's very important to me. Everyone needs a place to stay, and there's a lot of really bad landlords out there, and I don't want to be one of those. And this is going to fuel my, it's not that I want to quit my job, but I want to have the flexibility to travel whenever I want, and this is going to be able to fuel that. So this is a passion that I found this semester, and I'm really glad that it came back to me. So that's one of the things that started a long time ago, but now it's back. Oi, 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 canoeing. I don't know how, every year I get this like thing, sometimes triathlon, sometimes climbing, and it becomes a personality. I don't know how, but canoeing was this semester. And the only other time I'd ever been canoeing was this time. And I never thought anything of it. I thought I'd never see these guys ever again. And if you pay attention, they're in like every single slide of this presentation. But so then Mr. Howard has this wonderful course where he teaches you how to create a canoe paddle. And this is kind of the sequence. So you make your rod, your actual long part, and then you make the paddle, and then you cut the paddle in half, and then you glue it together, and then you cut it a little long. And that's kind of what it looks like now. And this is something I told me 10 years ago, I would have been doing this. I would not have believed you. There's no way. And the time we were on that canoe was honestly by accident. We wanted a kayak, but there was 3 of us left over, so we got a canoe. But yeah, I mean, this course has just been so impactful to me. I never thought I'd create this as a hobby or a passion. And now it's just my personality. Like San Marcos River Cleanup Community, that was a time where we went and we traveled up to San Marcos. We spent the night, we camped. And these people have been cleaning this river for I think about 50 years. So you just go on your canoe along the river and you pick up trash as you go. And then there's a huge barbecue at the end. And that is such a niche community that I would have never found if it weren't for this course. And then I put a canoe on my car. Guys, I drive a 2013 Kia Forte. Like oh my gosh, it was so cool. And this is literally last week. We went out on the San Antonio River. Yeah, you can canoe on that thing. Next time you go on the river walk, catch me there. And then on the far right is my friend Claudia. She's the stern to my bow. She canoes with me every time in class, and she's very sweet. So thank you, Claudia. So then I got roped into this thing called concrete canoe, and again, it became my personality. This is the beginning stages of the concrete canoe. So you get foam and you cut it to the form of a canoe, and then you slap cement on top of it, and then it dries, it cures, right? And then you have to take out this foam at the end. So we were there through this process, we made it happen. And yeah, some of these concrete canoes, they float. Ours didn't. It broke on the way to Stevensville to this, it was sad. But I think it would have floated. But we're all engineers, so what do? We problem solve. So we went to Harbor Freight. We got a bunch of duct tape. And it came together, guys. It came together. It's in one piece. Rowdy Rex lives on. He did a really good job. People came up to us and they're like, oh my God, like, how did you get it to look like a real bone, like the ridges? And none of it was intentional, but we're like, oh, like, it was a crazy technique. The mix design was insane. And it was a really fun time. The team, we had 10, 15 people on the team, and the conference was a lot of fun. It was interesting being with other civil engineers. Like, it was just civil engineers up there. I never had that. So it was cool. But oh gosh. I wish it would have stayed together. Because if I'm honest with you, when we took it back out to put it back in the trailer, it fell apart in like 10 more pieces. No amount of duct tape could have saved it that time. But it's okay. And so that was kind of like the most recent thing that I've done. And so now you have to think, what would 2021 Edith think? Like, what would she say? Would she be proud of me? Would she be disappointed? And I really don't think so. I think she would have been so incredibly proud of all of her friends. Very impressed by the ability to ask for what I want, not getting pushed over, run over at work, having the ability to say, no, I want this, I want these hours, and I want to work at this place. And she would have been completely unbelieving that she helped a whole community in Guatemala have running water. I mean, people do that for a living, and I did it for free. She would have been super grateful for all these new hobbies and skills, rock climbing, canoeing, triathlons, all of it. She would have never thought that that was going to be something that she would be able to do. And super excited for the next steps. So what are the next steps? Forensic engineering. Listen, I know I was in love with Tetra Tech. I loved it. I thought I was going to be there forever. I told everyone that. But then this random opportunity came upon me where I was at an ASCE conference, only because I was in Concord Canoe. I had to go. And this company called WGE was presenting, and they were talking about forensic engineering. And it was, I don't know if it existed. They were rappelling off of these buildings and that were falling apart. And they were like, oh, this concrete is falling apart because of this, and we'll create this test on it, and we'll problem solve in this way. And it needs to be remedied in a certain amount of time and a certain amount of materials. And I thought that was so cool. I literally went up to them and I said, hey, how can I be involved with you? Like, give me a job right now. And he said, we don't have any openings. And I was, okay. But I was talking to, actually, I went outside and I bumped into somebody, and they said, well, maybe it's just a stepping stone. Like, you found out about it, now maybe something else is going to pop up. And I said, you know what, I need to hear that. And lo and behold, I was talking to a professor that I hadn't talked to in a year or two. And I mentioned to him that forensic engineering was something that I was interested in. And I said, hey, I mean, if you ever find any opportunities and you want to, pass them along, let me know. And he actually did. He ironically owns a forensic engineering company. And he was like, I would like to offer you a position. And so obviously I said yes. And I fought for my terms, and he agreed to all of them. And if I hadn't had those, ups and downs previously, I would have kind of just accepted what he gave me. But no, I, push and pull, and he pulled. So what I'm going to be doing over the next few years is going to bridges around Texas and assessing what damage they have, what their lifespan is going to be, if they're damaged, how they're going to get fixed. And then I think that's a stepping stone into doing something more extravagant, maybe more buildings or underwater bridges, and where you put on a scuba suit and you dive down and you assess the bridges that way. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about this opportunity, and I'm incredibly grateful for it to come along at such a buzzer beater moment. And I just want to say thank you for everyone that was here on the Zoom and in person. I appreciate everyone for taking the time. Some of these pictures are there's like one from freshman year, but the other ones are very recent. This is Kyle. Thank you. I didn't realize you were in, like, yeah, so thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Edith. And it was wonderful hearing about your past 4 years, the career emphasis and discovery that has led you to so many interesting opportunities has just been great to hear about. And we're appreciative of all the value that you've contributed to Top Scholar, and hopefully all that Top Scholar has helped make you into what you are today. So if Christy was here, she would definitely want us to make mention of the fact that you are a Roadrunner for life, you are a Top Scholar for life, and given that, we really hope that you stay in touch and you let us know how things go, and you find some time to remember the little people. Job well done.
You were gonna be a Terry, and Tom Keller wanted you so bad that they swiped you up, but I don't blame them. We were so close, but I don't blame them because you're exceptionally humble. You're like the busiest person I know. You literally do it all, and so, just fantastic job. You're one of the best people I know. So I'm gonna know you like, I'm gonna be at your funeral, you're gonna be, or you're gonna be at my house.
Start with that.
Yeah, we're good. Next person, good.
Let me real quick, and Mr. Howard speak. Elia, you can unmute.
Hi, Edith.
Hello.
Thank you so much for inviting me and sharing, giving me the chance to peek into this presentation. Amazing. And I'm sure everyone in the audience echoes that sentiment that you are amazing. And this, you know, resume of accomplishments, this portfolio of accomplishments and adventures is just spectacular. You've done wonderfully at combining so many different interests and um, being an inspiration to other people. I have observed that firsthand, and I've been the beneficiary of that inspiration also. So kudos, congratulations, and very best of luck.
I just wanna say really quick, I think that you just go through life in such a thoughtful way, like you're such a well-rounded person, and you care about everybody around you, and everything that you do with such passion, and I think it's really important.
You know how you know how I said I was gonna like sob in the middle of, I think this is the moment. I want you to know that our friendship has like changed my life. And you are a sister to me. I think like the moment that I think I like fell asleep on you on the plane to Colorado at like 3 a.m. And that was like the start of so many moments where I learned so much from your wisdom, your thoughtfulness, your kindness, your big thinking, your ambition, and the way that you are so comfortable with yourself and comfortable with being uncomfortable too. And I'm so grateful for you. Like you just changed my life in so many ways, and I can't believe you're not gonna be here next year. But I'm so excited for you, and I know that all your dreams are gonna come true, and I'm so grateful that I get to witness that.
You're one of you're one of the smartest and hardworking people I've ever met. I'm very grateful for our friendship, and I don't think you have any idea how influential you are to me, but to so many other people ever since freshman year, our trio, Curse, me, you, and Ted. I'm very grateful for that. There's a lot of experiences, like one of them, my greatest experience because of you. You push us to do great things, to enjoy life. Every single time I'm even having a bad day, I was like, I think you'll leave it. It's gonna be good. You always have this positive outlook in life, and just inspires me. And I don't know, just going canoeing, the camping trip, it was great. Inviting people in our group that would never have imagined going camping.
We have a raised hand from Joshua who would like to speak. Go ahead, Joshua.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Joshua. I just want to give a shout out to EWB for allowing me to meet this beautiful woman, Edith. I think she's a phenomenal woman. She's very smart, intelligent. She knows what she wants, and she's just a light in this world. And she's motivated me to be better every single day. And yeah, thank you, Edith. And I'm amazed and very excited for the future. I think you'll do many things. And yeah, thank you.
Well, Edith, see, I'm kind of speechless because this presentation is so amazing. And so I think your competitive spirit, like, is something that just rubs off of people, right? Like Ollie talked about the canoe curse, right? But also every time that we do something competitive as a group or something like that, I think you push everyone else around you to really give their best. And I think that's really inspiring. Yeah, I hope to see what's next.
Edith, like Josh said, you are a light to this world. Like in this presentation, you do so much. You are so busy. I saw the canoeing, I saw the everything, the trash can. But I just really want to thank you for like being such a good roommate and friend to me. There are so many times I walk in and like you really actually lift up my day, just like getting to talk to you. And I admire like even though you're so busy with all these things, like you still are very thoughtful with the people around you.
the way to this camping. You tried to convince me to go to national parks.
Indeed.
Yeah, such an impression. I'm very proud. So I wanna, I don't know, I have a lot of things to say too, but I can tell you that at a different time. But I want to emphasize the fact that you are very kind and very patient to everyone around you, and I'm very proud of you. And I don't know, I think it's crazy to see like how we would talk like in the beginning. And you would tell me like, oh, like I wanna do this, and I wanna do that. And it's very, very, very inspirational and very, I don't know, I'm proud of you to see like all of the stuff that we used to talk about in this presentation. So I'm very proud of you, Edith.
Thank you.
We have a raised hand from Karina.
Yes, hello. I am one of Edith's old friends from middle school, and I just wanted to say, Edith, like, seeing you grow and become the woman that you are has been such an honor and pleasure. And you are just one of like the most amazing people I know in my life. You have taught me so many things, and making all these memories with you and seeing you go through life and all through all these ups and downs, like you mentioned, has been truly, truly inspirational. You are definitely one of the most humbling people I've ever known, even though like you have every right not to be, I feel. But with that being said, like everyone else is saying, like you really are a light. Your personality just shines through with everything you do, and I'm just so proud of you. So yeah, just wanted to say that.
I'm so proud of you. You're very. Um. You're very, very inspiring. Thank you so much for teaching me so much, for your patience, for giving yourself to everything you do and to everyone you know. It's from your family, just seeing you being so close to your family inspired me to be closer to my family. And I thought like, maybe I do need them more than I think I do. And you're an example too in a lot of things. Thank you for seeing you push every boundary there is in yourself, physically and emotionally, made me want to do it too. Just you, I remember when you gave something to Josh as a gift, I was like, I would cry if I would get that as a gift. I think it was like rock climbing. And just like you going above and beyond for everything you do is insane. You're so inspiring. I remember sophomore year just winning every morning, and I'm gonna miss you so, so much, but I know you'll do great things, and anyone that gets to know you in the future, and any company that gets to work with you, they're gonna be lucky to have you, and yeah. You know, thank you, Carol.
Simple example of your above and beyond is that your first triathlon you decided to do at Lake Tahoe, which is a high elevation, which means you can't breathe so comfortably.
It's true. Didn't think that was a real thing. Definitely true.
Hi. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Edith, for a wonderful presentation. Our next presentation is in this room at 3. It'll be Catherine's exit.